cold now, but warming up as soon as tomorrow, back near 50 degrees, whereas today we're sitting just a little bit below normal right now. Beautiful look to our downtown cam this Sunday morning. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. It's been a long morning so far for me personally, but anyways, 28 degrees. That's what we're sitting at here in Cincinnati. It feels like 22 with just the slightest breeze. This is from the north. The difference in temperature between today and tomorrow is because we're seeing a wind shift from the south tomorrow. So we can expect warmer temperatures throughout the day. That's what's on our radar, and this is what you need to know heading throughout the first work week back from the holidays, at least the first full one. For most of us, warmer weather does return. It sticks around all week long, whether it's the 50s or the 60s. You're going to see it throughout the work week. And as a result, yes, some foggy mornings are on tap. I'm eyeing Wednesday and I'm eyeing Thursday morning for perhaps some dense fog that could affect your commute. And then late week rain chances are going to ring out the atmosphere and give us that January feel just in time for next weekend. Whereas temperatures right now, they are cold. I mean, middle 20s here in Cincinnati. We have one area with the 30s. That's Batesville right now. Other temperatures include 28 in Wilmington, 27s out in West Union, Maysville, and Hillsborough, as well as up towards Middletown, Harrison, and down towards Owenton. So heading out the door the next few hours, we're seeing a lot of sun. It's just not going to reflect in the temps because those winds definitely keeping things a little bit cooler than normal. But remember, it's January, so it's normal to see cold temperatures like this, especially in the mornings, right? Highs today going to be in the middle 30s, and the wind, though not extreme, will make it feel a little cold at times. Here's today's highs around the tri-state. Most of us will be in the upper 30s near 40 degrees, especially in northern Kentucky, just because you're normally a little bit warmer than the rest of us here in the tri-state, and colder north, middle 30s for Connorsville, up towards Wilmington, and out east towards Hillsborough. Today's the last day of the season for the Cincinnati Zoo PNC Festival of Lights. If you haven't gone yet this year and you really want to, you only have today before that closes. But today we are watching out just for those cold temperatures. I'm not tracking anything in the way of rain, no snow, and no big cold. I mean, this is very seasonal, very normal to see cold like this. So if you're heading out to the Festival of Lights or just doing anything later on this evening, running some errands this afternoon, winter coats, sunglasses, you'll need them. Now, stepping out the door tomorrow morning, even though tomorrow starts that warm up, the morning is still going to be cold. So bundle up, temps off to school, 28, many of us in the 20s with mostly clear skies, can't rule out the low 20s as well. But as those winds start to shift, we're going to be heading home with temperatures nearing 50 degrees, mostly sunny skies, a great change of pace. If you've been wishing away the cold, this week is going to be your week. Back in the 50s tomorrow, like I mentioned. We're going to hold on to the 50s too, despite some rain chances arriving late Tuesday. I do see a weak cold front passing on through with this. However, it's not going to really make us all that much colder. I mean, Wednesday, we're still seeing highs in the middle 50s, partly cloudy skies. I'd say that's your pick day out of the week because beyond this 3-day forecast, so Thursday and Friday, that's when we not only see the 60s, but we also see some rain chances coming back into the tri-state. So you'll see it here in just a second. On your weather timeline. Don't be fooled by Tuesday's 30%. It looks that 30% is for very light spotty showers. I'm seeing this mainly east of Cincinnati, mainly in the afternoon as well. A stray shower possible on Wednesday. Again, that's really your pick day because we'll be able to comfortably enjoy some mild sunshine that afternoon before those showers start to roll in Thursday. This is, once again, the timing of this has delayed a little bit, so it's looking like it's eyeing Thursday afternoon, overnight into Friday, and on Friday, which is why we're splitting it 50-50 between Thursday and Friday. I'd say the heaviest rain here in the tri-state is going to be moving through dark and early Friday morning, and that is the best time for this rain to arrive because we might not see as strong of wind gusts with this, but I'm still tracking a little bit of those gusty winds to round out the work week. So even though we're tracking mild temperatures as soon as tomorrow, we are tracking those chances for rain picking up towards the second half of the week. So if you're heading out on a walk today, taking the dog for a walk, while it is going to be cold, it is going to be dry. Better opportunities for a longer walk. I mean, I'd say Tuesday and Wednesday, but you could do it tomorrow as well with temperatures in the middle to upper 40s near 50. Tuesday, kind of a slam dunk. We're going to be in the 50s no matter what. And then Wednesday, watching out for just a stray shower that day, but dry ground. Thursday is when you're going to want to bring a towel because that, especially in the afternoon, that's when we have those showers starting to come back into the tri-state. So here's your weather timeline. Let's unpack it together. Today, we're mainly seeing sun right now. Clouds are going to start to build towards the late afternoon into your evening. Not seeing any rain, not seeing any snow anymore, which is the great news here. We were tracking to the possibility of a flurry or two north, whereas now it's kind of dropped off, which that's some good news. Stepping into your Monday, though, it will be cold. Temps are going to be dropping into the 20s for Monday morning, and we'll catch relief in the afternoon. Back into the 40s, you'll see here, a little bit of upper level clouds filtering the sun, but not tracking any rain showers until later in the afternoon on Tuesday. So temperatures are going to be allowed to warm up into the middle 50s before this rain starts. It's going to be a great day up until the spotty rain chance arrives, and then a cold front, a weak cold front is going to be passing on through. It's going to be kicking up the winds just a little bit. I'm only seeing winds gusting up to about 30 miles an hour, and depending on the timing of this cold front passing on through, you might catch a foggy start there to your Wednesday. I'd say mainly Thursday, but depending on the timing of the cold front, fog could affect your Wednesday as well. But the second half of Wednesday, again, your pick day because we have some sun. It's going to be mild. Temperatures are going to be in the middle 50s. And then we're stepping into Thursday. Notice the clouds kind of just firing up out of nowhere in south central Ohio. We can't rule out some patches of dense fog here in the tri-state as well. Depends on the cloud cover, which I'm seeing mostly clear skies for Thursday morning. And then as we see the afternoon arrive, here comes the rain chances. Again, this is the heaviest rain that I'm tracking out of your 7 to 10 day forecast. And yes, a few rumbles of thunder are going to be possible with this as well. I'm mainly seeing this pulling through right around here, which the timing of this is going to be, it's ideal. If we're going to get rain and storms, you want it to arrive in the morning because we don't have a lot of fuel for these storms to work with. We don't have a lot of heat. Temperatures are just naturally a little bit cooler. So that's the good news with this, but for the Friday morning commute, maybe not so great of news. We're going to hang on to some scattered rain chances throughout the late evening on Friday and even early Saturday morning, though it doesn't look like it's going to be as heavy as what we've just showed you a second ago on your weather timeline. And then the cold arrives once again. Any wraparound rain showers will make that transition into snow, and let that be a sign that while we are tracking mild temperatures this week, next weekend, seasonal cold does return. All right, let's see if we have any questions coming on in. Seth is tuning in. Hi, Erin. How are you doing this morning? Last time he listened to a song by Linkin Park. I'm doing well this morning. Thanks for tuning in, Seth. Okay, let's keep on rolling with the punches here. Your 7 to 10 day forecast has a little bit of everything except for the 70s, which this time last week we were in the 70s, if you can believe that. It felt so good outside, whereas today some of us are slicing that high temperature in half easily. We're tracking a high here in Cincinnati at 37 degrees, and depending on that sun, some of us could see temperatures only peaking in the low 30s. But the Bengals forecast, that's looking good. If you're tailgating, about to tailgate, it's just cold. We're still in the 20s, and even for kickoff around 1 o'clock this afternoon, we'll just be barely climbing into the 30s around that time. So just plan for the cold, seasonal cold. Now Monday, tomorrow, it starts off freezing, but look at the afternoon. Those temperatures are going to be jumping a decent amount with those winds coming out of the south-southeast. A few thin clouds, so the sun is going to be helping too. Highs are going to near 50 degrees on Monday, and if you don't hit the 50s on Monday, you will on Tuesday with even stronger winds coming into play. Again, winds gusting up to about 30 miles an hour. Spotty rain chances seen later in the afternoon. Light rain as well. Temps in the middle 50s. Now Wednesday, with that weak cold front that is pulling on through the tri-state early that morning, you're going to see temperatures just a bit cooler on Wednesday, in just like hardly a noticeable difference there, but it is just a little bit cooler, and it does kind of stunt that steady warm up just for a day. But then we're back in the 60s on Thursday ahead of another chance for rain, and this one's looking a little bit more substantial, a little bit more impactful to the plans, but the timing, like I mentioned, is favoring not only mostly dry daylight hours, especially on Thursday, but it's also limiting the storm potential. I'm not ruling out the possibility of storms yet. It's also going to be windy. Just keep that in mind. Active weather, usually that's what happens, but low 60s for Thursday, low 60s for Friday as well. And as the cold front passes on through, which this is a part of a much bigger system, it will bring down temperatures just in time for those weekend plans. So that's what the arrow means. On Saturday, if you see that next to the 50, that means we're going to start in the 50s, but by the afternoon, those temperatures will have fallen at least by a few degrees back into the 40s. If not the 40s, then maybe even the 30s ahead of Sunday, in which a seasonal cold temperatures settle right back into the tri-state, and it looks pretty calm from what I'm seeing right now. We will let you know if that changes. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions rolling on in. It is 10:25. All right, since we're getting on a little bit early, let's go ahead and talk about what beyond the 10-day forecast looks like, which, you see a trend here. We're always talking about how it seems as if the last few weeks we've been kind of in this period of time and weather in which we've been leaning above normal. I'm not saying the last couple of days we've been below normal, because we have, but generally speaking, we've been under the red part of this graphic, and that's what that means is on average, given this time frame from January 12th to January 18th, or whatever that range is, we've been leaning on average above normal, and we definitely saw it this last week. I mean, sure, we were at 70 degrees this last Sunday. Of course, that's going to skew the data a little bit as well. So take with what you see here with a grain of salt. This is the average between January 12th and January 18th. And generally, we're going to be around normal, which for this time of year includes mornings in the low 20s and afternoon highs in the upper 30s near 40 degrees. Yes, Southeast Michigan. Oh my gosh, I'm reverting back to my Toledo ways. Southeast Indiana, you guys may be leaning just slightly above normal, but again, really, this is based off of the average, and so we don't expect any big extremes for long periods of time. But maybe the good news, unless you really want the snow, is that we're entering into a pretty dry pattern. Beyond the 10-day forecast, starting to see a little bit of a calmer pattern. That's probably why temperatures are pretty steady, because on average they'll probably start off pretty cold in that 8 to 14 day period, and they'll warm up a little bit with how dry it's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be bone dry, but yes, it is going to be leaning dry for sure. Okay, Erin's tuning in. We're going to Perfect North January 16th for my birthday. How's it looking weather-wise? So yeah, that's 12 days away. We're talking a week from this upcoming Friday, and that's not quite in our 10-day forecast. We're getting a little bit close, but yeah, good thing we just talked about the 8 to 14 day outlook. And unfortunately, I mean, Perfect North, they've done a fantastic job, Erin, of making it pretty climate controlled. Not saying they're controlling the weather per se, but they know how to handle warmer days, in which, yeah, we're going to be seeing some warmer days over the next over the next week. But when you're going to Perfect North on January 16th, even if it is a little warm to be out in the snow and skiing, there will still be snow. Of course, their whole industry does kind of rely on the snow being there. So I would plan for, I mean, it's going to be cold around the snow regardless, especially if you are not a great skier like myself and you end up in the snow. Just make sure you're bundling up. As far as anything extreme, I'm not seeing anything extreme that far out. I just showed you the outlooks. Maybe like temperatures are going to be right near normal, which means afternoon highs are going to be in the upper 30s, low 40s, which to me that's pretty optimal for being outside, but maybe not so optimal for the snow itself. So it depends what you prefer. If you want to be a little bit warmer, maybe that's some good news for you, but if you want there to be more snow, then maybe that's not so great news for you. But either way, happy birthday. It's exciting. Perfect North is the best way to spend your birthday. Thanks for tuning in, Erin. Dustin and Alicia both tuning in, saying bring on the spring. Yes, we're going to feel like spring, early spring for a few days here in that 10-day forecast. And yeah, eventually we're going to see those showers and storms pulling on through Thursday into Friday. It's mainly going to be rain showers, but a few rumbles of thunder possible with those daytime highs in the 60s. And then yes, this time next weekend, we are tracking normal temperatures once again. So all warm things do come to an end, as they do though. I mean, it is winter, so we're going to see something a little bit more normal stepping into the weekend once we get through a relatively warm week. Perhaps it's a gift from Mother Nature. If you're heading back to work this week and you're dreading it, heading back to school this week and maybe you're dreading it, at least the weather is going to be in your favor towards the afternoons if you prefer something a little bit warmer. All right, so the time now is 10:30. We're going to go ahead and sign off of here, but coming up tonight, meteorologist Anna Duvall will have the latest information on what to expect with those late week showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, and generally speaking, the latest information on the 10-day. Something to look forward to. Those warm temperatures, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in this Sunday morning. Have a great rest of your day and stay warm.